United Rock Nations. Today we are in the fall of summer and we are with Immolation, fabulous death metal band. So nice to meet you. I'm very
Same here,
happy
man.
to be with you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
For me, it's very fantastic day.
Cool.
Okay, so
We just talked about that.
We're just talking about
Oh,
that.
yes.
Yeah. Were you there?
no,
Oh.
my colleague was there.
Oh wow.
And they told me, oh, you have to ask a question about that because it was a fantastic show.
Yeah.
You played 2 songs.
I believe
Well,
so.
no, I think we only
One?
we were supposed to play 2. We played 2, I think, earlier, didn't we? Like we were rehearsing for a couple of
Yeah.
songs, but we only got to play
So I
1.
want to know what's the ambience because this show was incredible.
Crazy.
It was very phenomenal. It's crazy. So
Well, here's the thing, though. A lot of people don't know this. That show made us the first American death metal band to play in Europe.
okay.
Yeah, we were the first, and then right after us, I think Death came and toured. Like that was in '89.
So we're still on our demos, but
We still- it was a
we got
demo.
our foot in the door, even if it was just for one song.
Yeah, we still played technically, so I'll
But
take
it
the
was-
technicality.
It was pretty cool. I mean,
Yeah, it was awesome.
Massacre was nice enough to let us borrow their stuff, and we played what song?
Immolation we played.
Immolation,
Yeah.
and man, it was insane.
It was crazy.
Insane.
Craziest
Because
crowd.
The kids really hadn't quite heard something like that live before. You know what I mean? So it was-
Today you two, you remember it.
I remember
Oh,
it
yeah.
like it was yesterday. It was that clear to me. It was so exciting. Yeah, it was Tankard, Massacre from France, and then Massacre let us, like Bob said, go up and use their equipment. They were very cool. So we just got up there with their instruments and we just played Immolation, and the crowd went fucking nuts. Yeah,
pretty wild.
It was crazy. Yeah, very cool, exciting.
So, dinosaurs.
I mean, we were just looking.
Dinosaur bands.
Yeah, I mean, we've always been into a lot of the darker stuff, you know, back in the day, and I think it just in developing our own music, especially after the first record, you know, with the first record and the second and everything we do now, it's always the goal is just to make something interesting, dark, heavy, but we never really wanted to be anything like. We always did things, different types of speeds and stuff like, you know, very diverse. Whether it's fast, slow, heavy, dark. I mean, you know, we just wanted the music to be very diverse, but definitely dark is the element that we always want, you know, because to us, death metal was always about that. Like a big influence, for instance, obviously was Possessed, you know, so that dark element is what really made that music for us. Even with the early thrash bands, like early Creator and Destruction and stuff like that, there was that dark element, you know, and Sodom and Celtic Frost and all that. So it's like, you know, we just took those influences and Sepultura, the early Sepultura, Morbid Visions and things like that. Yeah, so that's just kind of like our background, and as well as the classics like Maiden and Metallica and Priest. So we just were just kind of going that, you know, down the road a little further, and we just wanted to keep it dark, heavy and aggressive, powerful, but always that dark element to it.
Yeah, we loved like the earlier thrash stuff. That was the next step in the progression musically, but then the European, especially the German bands, the German thrash bands, were taking thrash to a darker place. And like Bob said, that earlier Destruction, early Creator, and Sodom, those bands were taking thrash in a darker direction. And that's kind of the stuff that we kind of latched onto. Even Possessed, I mean, you know, I guess technically they were a thrash band, you know. And I remember when Seven Churches came out, there were a lot of comparisons between Possessed and Slayer at the time. Even though I didn't really see it, other than they were, you know, they were both California bands and they were both thrash. Possessed was just darker and heavier, and they had a certain feeling to their music that I think is what really touched us, you know. And we were like, wow, that's what we want to do, you know. So I think Seven Churches to me was the album that really defined death metal. Just like Bathory to me was the band that defined the current black metal scene. Like those were the templates, I think, you know. And whether you agree or not, that's just my opinion, you know. Possessed was the band that defined it for us, you know.
I agree. Absolutely.
I guess we're just driven, you know. I mean, we've been at this a long time, and I think a big part of it is that we all enjoy it a lot. It's a big part of our lives, and we do still enjoy it. We love the music. We love every aspect of the band, from the recording and the writing, and especially to this kind of stuff, the touring and getting out in front of the people and playing. You know, that's like the best part. And it's just it's what we do. It's what we've done for 30 years now, and it's inspiring to move on to the next level. Like, where can we take it now? You know, like how much further can we take it? What can we do different now? And with every record, I mean, you know, it's still Immolation, but there's just different. There are always a few different elements that kind of
every
like
record's different.
make it different, you know. And it's just something we love to do. We're very passionate about it, and that goes a long way, you know. It's just we want to be as creative as possible, and it's fun for us to try and discover new elements for ourselves, you know, for what we can do as a band, you know. And we don't really limit ourselves, you know, no matter what it is. If we think it works and it sounds good, then we do it. You know what I mean? We're not going to limit ourselves and say, oh, we can't do something like that, or we can't. We write what comes with feeling and what comes naturally, and that's really how we've always done it. You know.
When it comes to what we do with the music, we're still the same younger kids we were back in the '80s when we started. We still have that level of excitement when we enter the studio, when we start the writing process. You know, when Bob starts writing riffs. You know, when I start listening to them and the other guys listen to them, we're like, wow, it's almost like discovering some new material back in the 80s, you know, and, you know, we've kind of learned what works and what doesn't work, and it's something we're all still passionate about, all of us, you know,
It's still exciting to this day. Everything, it's like, you know, we're still those same kids, you know, that are passionate and excited about, you know, bringing the music to the audience and going out there and playing,
we're psyched to play tonight,
getting together, being on the road.
We're like, cool, I can't wait to go on stage. It looks like a great crowd, you know. And for us, it's just as exciting. We just want to get out there, just like if we were like 30 years ago. Like, oh,
totally.
This is gonna be awesome.
And it's nothing but positive. You know? It's a positive experience in every way.
Totally.
You know, I would say for all of us, you know.
Absolutely.
To compose, you compose together or just one person bring something?
Basically, it's me and a laptop, and and then
You do all the music?
pretty much I write the riffs and I put like drum beats to the riffs, and then I kind of build parts at a time.
Okay.
And eventually I'll start putting songs together. Once I finish a song, then I feel it's ready where it needs to be. Then I'll send it to the guys and they'll check it out. You know, you know. But that just it's that timeline, you know, and it's a tough thing to get started on because you have a blank slate, you know. But for every album, it's always tough for me to get started. But once I get started and get the first song done and the second song done, and then as it progresses, you get a little more comfortable and a little more confidence because it's not easy. After on a 10th record now, you got 9 records of material. You know, you're trying to create something new. You're trying not to copy yourself, and you're trying not to copy anybody else. So it's a challenge, but you know. Luckily, when it comes, it comes out and works out, and, you know, and we're happy with everything. So.
And the same for the lyrics? You do the music before the lyrics, or you do?
Always.
Usually, yeah.
Or before, okay.
I try to come up the music. I think is necessary to get the inspiration for the lyrics. So usually, once a lot of the music is done, you know, we'll start coming up with ideas. I try to have ideas. You know, for the songs before we go in the studio.
We'll come up with a few titles each and be like, all right, I'm thinking of this as an idea and a title, and be like, okay, we put it to the side.
Yeah.
And it's really not until we get in the studio for 2 weeks to record, Ross and I get together and we're like, okay, we gotta, you know, we kind of have an idea, but we're figuring out, like, you know, Ross will be like, yeah, I'm really thinking of this song for that idea, and I'm like, okay, what do you got? And then this is what I got. I'm like, okay, and then we go back and forth together and write stuff and work stuff out.
It's cool. It's fun, you know.
Until it's ready, you know, and it's an interesting experience because I'd say about like 9 out of 10 records we've done, it's been done like that. It's like literally we have no lyrics before we walk into the studio, just about, and then we're in the studio and we just write everything in there, you know. And it's
big pressure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is kind of.
Whatever works.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, it's worked, you know. But again, you know, we will have ideas beforehand. We'll also write some stuff out. I'll have some ideas, and it's just when we're in the studio, we have that time where nothing can bother us, no interruptions. You know, it's just like nothing to take our attention away. So that's when we're our most productive, you know, because we're just recording the parts, and we have that downtime to just sit down and get it done, you know. So yeah, you really can concentrate, you know, and
no distractions.
It works for us, it really does. So, and I think the lyrics on this one are probably some of the strongest we've written. You know, so it's
absolutely,
you know, luckily keeps on coming.
I think so. If you have to choose only, it's a difficult question. Maybe only one song of the last album.
Of the new album?
Yes, of the new album. Yes. Which song do you?
That's a hard one because we're playing 8 songs on this tour for that record.
It changes all the time.
Yeah.
Like for me, it would be Above All right now. That's like my favorite to play. You know? but that could change next week.
Yeah, I like Jackals when the Jackals come, but I also like now. New in the set is Rise to Heretics, Lower, and Above All. And I'm really enjoying all three of those because we played 5 off of the new record on the last couple of tours. So it's hard, man. I like them all. It's a very hard one.
Yeah, I think they all have their own unique thing going on, and it's like a song like Epiphany, which is the album ender. It's very dark, and heavy, but just very atmospheric. There's just a lot of stuff on the record, and it all kind of melts together very well. I think
This would be a better question. Out of your 10 albums, which album's material do you most prefer playing now? And then I would say definitively Atonement. That's a better question.
I mean, every song is I don't think there's any filler at all on this album. Every song is just great, and
I agree.
I could play the whole album every day, I'd be fine with that,
It's like one of the first albums that we've ever done that I still listen to, you know what I'm saying? Mostly when I'm now rehearsing a lot, so you're listening to it a lot, of course, but I'll throw it on every once in a while, and I don't usually do that with our records. You listen to it in the very beginning, you're like, okay, cool, it's done, and that's it. I don't ever listen to it again, you know what I'm saying? But this album I've actually listened to after it was done a lot, so, which is unique.
I just think everything kind of came into line with this one more than any other record because, I think we're at our best with the writing, music, lyrics, and then the production was really fine-tuned on this one. Zach's done a phenomenal job, and Paul have done a phenomenal job on every record we've done, but this one, I think everything just came at its top point, from the time we've been working with everybody, as this, Paul Orfino, Zach, and us working together for the past, since Majesty and Decay, so this is just the top, I think, as far as the productions, it's kind of came to that point, which is great. So I think it, all the elements are just, top notch on this record. So it makes it work.
Okay, thank you very much. A question about the artwork, because all album have got an album amazing. The last album is amazing too. So I want to know how do you do to make that? Is it the same artist? And do you give something to this artist to make the artwork like that?
Yeah, we kind of give him ideas. The cover kind of came from some lyrics we came up with, and just some ideas about kind of just you have a vision of what you're thinking, and then you kind of write it out, and then we make a little horrible sketch for him. It's like a 30-year-old sketch for him, So, but yeah, we pretty much have our ideas, and then we kind of sketch it out. And then we present it to Par. Par Olofsson's done every album cover since Majesty and Decay for us. And he really has a good way of taking our ideas and bringing them to life. So, we had this idea of the whole scene and described everything to him and kind of planned it out a little. And then the great thing with him is that he'll send us his work as he's doing it. So we'll say, here's what I got so far. And then we'll look at that and be like, okay, but we want to kind of we're thinking of something more along the lines of this kind of feeling, or the image to be more like this, and he nails it every time, and it's great because you're kind of really working together, so he really gets the good idea of what we're really looking for, so and he does a phenomenal job. I mean, this one really came out just great. We're very happy with it.
Everything you see on all the album covers were very specific ideas that we had and that we sketched out and that we planned out. Everything, from the first album cover to the Atonement album. So it's all our concepts, all our ideas, and it's just trying to kind of articulate those ideas to the artists. We've used 3 different artists throughout our career. The first 5 albums were done by Andreas Marshall, phenomenal, very iconic painter, amazing, talented guy. After that, we used for a couple of albums, we did something different visually, and we used Sven from Aborted. He did a lot of the stuff on Harnessing Ruin, Shadows in the Light, and was that it?
The EP.
Yes, and Hope and Horror. So that was all Sven. And then once we signed with Nuclear Blast, we started to use Par Olofsson. So like Bob said, he did Majesty, he did the Providence EP, Kingdom of Conspiracy, and the new album. So those are the 3 artists that we've worked with over our career.
So we feel we've been pretty lucky because each one of them really has been able to kind of take our ideas and bring them to fruition, And Par no different. You know, he's
Yeah.
been doing a really phenomenal job, and
Yeah.
it's just good to be able to relay ideas and have them kind of like really kind of get where you're coming from. You know what I mean? So so yeah, we were really happy with it, and it seems the fans are really happy with the new album cover. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So ready for the show
Ready.
this afternoon?
Ready.
Psyched.
This is okay?
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
Okay.
It's gonna be good. It's got a lot of new stuff on, so it'll be good.
Yeah.
We got a few oldies in there too, so don't worry.
Tonight we had like 7 new songs. We had to cut one, but we got 7 new songs.
7 years ago. Okay.
And some old classics from the first record. So.
Okay. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Have a nice show.
Thank you.
And see you soon. Okay. Bye bye. Thank you. Bye bye.
What? What's up? We are here on United Rock Nations, and we are Immolation.